All right, today should hopefully be a fairly quick one. I have to get this piston pump tore apart so I can figure out what I need for parts. It's free, it's got compression. This should pretty much just be a routine. Take it apart, clean it up, make sure nothing's broke, and put new seals and stuff in it, and call it good. Whether or not the check valves look good or look bad or good, I'm probably just going to go ahead and put new check valves in it because that's just cheap insurance. But anyhow, we got to get it up to the garage and get it apart, which is easier said than done because we had a few hours of freezing rain today, and that hill is a skating rink, so hopefully I could get it up there without dying. Okay, so this, according to the tag, is an L4000 series, and I called down, there's a place called Agrochem, AGRO-CEM, in Wabash, Indiana, that is really, they got a lot of people down there that are really well versed on these pumps. And I called down there and gave him the model number, and he asked me to describe what it looked like, and he said he's pretty sure it's actually it would be an L4000 series, specifically an LM4450 stainless steel body, which the stainless steel is pretty neat. Kind of handy, because I worked on one of these for my boss last spring. We converted his planter from a squeeze pump to a piston pump, and his was a cast iron frame. And oh boy, was that thing fun to get apart. But hopefully this one shouldn't be that bad because it's stainless steel, hopefully. So first thing we gotta do is get the oil out of it. Hopefully it's clean. If it's clean, that means everything's good. In the gear case anyhow. I can get you pointed in the right direction. And these are half. I was expecting that to be a plug, not a bolt. Well, that was fresh oil, so that's a good sign. Alright, oil came out clean, that's good. When I get it apart, I'll probably fill the crankcase with diesel and let it sit just to clean it out, but that's got nuts. Check valves are in decent shape, but since they got blue paint on them, I'm guessing they've been in there a minute, so probably a good idea just to go ahead and replace those. Getting them out is going to be a little bit more fun. bolts might be interesting. Or they'll just break off. Kind of impressive for a little 3/8 impact. Probably a good sign those bolts just need replaced anyhow. One out of 4. Probably wouldn't come apart so bad if those bolts still weren't stuck in it. Okay, got those 2 bottom bolts out, and look at that. Everything just kind of comes apart. My boss is having that snap ring. On his, it was a solid piston with just the nut holding it onto the push rod, but this one's got the snap ring, so I guess I will consult the parts book and see exactly how that comes apart. Well, that parts book doesn't show that style of piston, so I guess we're going to find out together. Actually on his, the piston's screwed on. Obviously that doesn't apply here because it's 2 pieces. I guess we'll see the center section to break loose. It should, because there's no bolts holding it. Paint broke, so that's good. Hung up on these hard old piston seals. Okay, there's the center section. I wonder if we take that snap ring off, if I let the piston come back and we can see what's going on in there. Okay, so how do you get a hold of that to spin it off? Because we need this off so that we can slide all this out and replace the rod seal. Obviously can't use pliers because you don't want to mar it. I don't know if we have a strap wrench that'll do that or not. Okay, I apologize. I was expecting it to be a lot tighter than it was. We've got this small oil filter wrench, and I got that on there, and I was just testing to make sure it fit, and it came loose. So it wasn't overly tight to begin with, which stands to reason because it's supposed to jam with that nut. It's not actually supposed to be tight. There's that. Now that and that should come apart. Should. They're going to be nice and crusty. Oh yeah, it's good and crusty in there. Oh, I guess that's mostly rusty grease, not actual rust. Well, the paint broke. That means it moved a little. And a few taps in the right spot later, basically just started alternating corners to get it to spin a little bit. Ew. And then there should be, I think it's a V packing in there. Because I shouldn't have to go any further than right here. Shouldn't. Alright, so I did some investigating because there are several things about this pump. This little deal right here being one of them. And the piston itself being another one. That aren't in that part schematic for an LM 4450. So I went and pulled up the part schematic for an LM or for an L4000, like what this pump actually says it is, and it ain't any different. So I don't know if that means this pump's a little newer or a little older than the schematic. So they changed some stuff around. But anyway, there should be a spring. And then I might have to take this off after all. Yeah, screw it. I'll just take it off. It'll make things easier, and then I can clean this up. Hold, please. Okay, this will open up the crankcase, which will make the crankcase easier to clean too. And there is indeed a V packing in there that's going to need changed. And other than this being a little scuzzy, the inside of the crankcase don't look that bad, so that's good. So now it's just a matter of cleaning up some. Oh, we got to get the check valves out of the inlet and outlet housings. Alright, there it is in pieces. Just as I suspected, the check valves did not want to come out. The ones out of the suction side, I had to cut those apart and yank them out. The ones out of the pressure side actually didn't pull out too bad. But they still had to come out in pieces. So, but like I said, I'm in here. I know that they're not too god-awful salty, but I'm in here just to replace the check valves and know they're good. A couple of them, the springs felt kind of weak, and you didn't have to press very hard to get them to unseat. So, just as expensive as fertilizer is, might as well make sure the check valves are good. So, but I think that's as far as I need to go for tonight. Tomorrow I got a lot of wire brushing and cleaning to do, and I can get my parts ordered. Should just need a seal kit and check valves. The bearings in the crankcase feel good. There's no evidence of it leaking. Actually, the only evidence of a leak was the rod seal down here where all that grease was, and that might not even have been from this. It might have been from whatever it was on before. And the only other thing that we're changing is apparently whatever this pump was on before, it was clutch driven. They use a 4-dog over center clutch on these, and they would rope trip, and this collar would slide in and out to engage the drive sprocket. Since we're doing ground drive, that doesn't need to be like that. We can just get a 18-2 sprocket that's set screwed right to the shaft and cut the shaft off and shorten it, because the ground drive is going to raise and lower with the toolbar, so that's what's going to shut the pump on and off. So like I said, all this can go away and will be greatly simplified and a lot more reliable. So I think with that being said, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.